Hello, everyone. My guest today is Loren Wilson. He is the co-founder and CEO of a company called Litmus Media. He spent the last 18 years involved in building consumer-facing application, monetizing page views, and working with publishers. He brings extensive startup experience and leadership to his role as CEO of Litmus Media. Previously, he was part of the management team at iModules Software, a startup technology provider that sold to private equity, and later with Litmus Media, an online search advertising startup that was acquired by Inuvo. All right, Loren, are you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so I think I got part of your bio wrong. Were you the founder of the company, or you joined later as CEO?
Yeah, so I started the company with another entrepreneur, Eric Hazen. We started going on about 6 years ago now.
Okay, very good. By the way, we can't see you. Is there a way you can shift it so that the light from the window is hitting your face?
Yeah, let me see if I get this right here.
Yeah,
Sorry
it's okay.
about that.
It's not a huge deal at all. I just want to make sure we can't actually see your face because it's all blacked out from the light behind you.
It's a Skype issue? Or
No. It's just how you're sitting. The window light behind you is making you black. So if you can fit, there you go. Perfect.
It's a little better.
That's perfect. Okay, good. So you found it with a buddy. You've scaled it. Now, is this more an ad tech play, or are you selling like a monthly subscription to the ad tech world?
Yeah, more of an ad tech play. We like to consider digital media and ad tech because there's a kind of a combination of things that we got going on with some owned and operated sites that we've got investments in. We've got video studio where we go out and help publishers create video content, customized video content, which ultimately creates more video ad inventory. And then we've got a number of tech solutions that help publishers really around monetization primarily, but and more of an agnostic tech play that contributes to increasing yield for publishers. And then the final part is more of an ad network play, connecting buyers and sellers in the video advertising space. So,
I mean, there are whole companies focused on just one of those things you just mentioned. What is your bread and butter? Which of those things makes up the most of your revenue?
So the ad network is pretty sizable. That's kind of where we started, just focusing on connecting publishers and advertisers together. And we put a lot of focus in video early on, going back almost 6 years now, like I said. So that's where everything really started. But when you're an ad network, you're very squarely in the middle of the ecosystem, right, in the supply chain. And so what we've recognized is that ad network oftentimes has a negative connotation. People on either end of the spectrum want to figure out ways to cut out ad networks, and so we of course have a little bit of a different view and feel that we add value. But either way, that there are challenges operating a model like that, and so what we've done is work to diversify, and that's why we've either invested or worked to launch new product lines that I mentioned with tech, with solutions. And everything revolves around video advertising primarily and solutions for publishers primarily.
So in the ad network, but let's go back before you launched and kind of diversified. What have you scaled the ad network to? And I assume you have probably different metrics for this, but maybe give us in terms of total impressions served or total dollars processed through it. Where are you at?
Yeah, so it's hundreds of millions of impressions every month. There's a lot of traffic that goes through. So in the billions of opportunities, as we call it, that goes through there, and then monetizing hundreds of millions of impressions for video advertising each month.
Okay, and generally speaking, over the past 12 months, how much ad dollars did you process?
Ad dollars, well into the 8 figures.
Okay, good. So what's that north of 10 million?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And is that I'm going to make this up. This is Geico that wants to appear on people.com, and you have worked with people to create video content, and then you're also responsible for selling that into Geico.
Yeah, more or less. So a lot of this comes through the programmatic channel, right? And so you're set up in one of the platforms like AOL, like Rubicon, et cetera. And so there are deals that are being made. And so, a Geico advertiser, you may be talking to their agency, you may be talking to them directly, and they want to get access to a certain amount of volume for a certain type of inventory, right? So, and we're talking primarily video for our business. And so we set up those connections through those platforms, sell the inventory that we have available to a Geico type advertiser, and we're off and running. So it's not, it's not quite the old traditional IO type business that it used to be. But programmatic works in many ways. There's some advantages to it, and that's primarily how we do transactions.
And generally, what are you charging on a dollar through your platform? And I know people don't like to be very specific about this, but give me a general range.
Yeah, so it's probably a pretty wide range. The CPMs for video are quite a bit higher, oftentimes 3 to 10 times higher than standard display. So, you're oftentimes talking about, double digit CPMs. So, a wide range, certain types of inventory. Mobile, for some reason, is still on the lower end of the CPM spectrum. So you might see CPMs range from somewhere around $4 to $5 all the way up to $20+.
And sorry, my question is, if you process that $20 placement, generally you take in 10% of that, 20% of that as a fee for using your network.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So, we work on more of a percentage of the overall revenue. So, we're talking, 20-25% margins typically.
Yep. So if you're processing, and you're north of this, but if you're processing $10 million through your ad tech, this is just one of your business lines, through your ad tech platform, it's fair to assume you guys are, taking, 20% of that at a minimum. So north of $2 million in revenue for you guys just from that one channel.
Yeah, so our revenue is well into the 8 figures. So we're recording that as revenue that ultimately gets paid from us. The 20% is ultimately what we keep to operate our business.
Yeah, sorry, just to be clear though, I always when I talk to ad tech companies, they give me this astronomical revenue number, but like 90% of that money is you're just paying, it's just flowing through your P&L. You're not actually keeping it. So from a gross profit perspective, you've got 20% of the total ad spend you are processing. And then you're saying as a company revenue wise, when you add up your other revenue streams, you're doing north of $10 million a year in revenue.
Yeah. So it's, that classification, right? And when you listen to some of the public companies out there like Google and Yahoo back in the day, they, I think, would describe it as like ex-TAC, right? The TAC meaning the traffic acquisition cost, right? So you're right. The actual revenue number, which is ultimately the dollars that flow through and get paid from the advertisers, it is a very high number, and then a lot of that goes out to to your publishing partners. Yep. So that's what we're talking about.
So why have you made the decision to juggle all of these things versus sell the ad network, relaunch a new company, and do the tech play?
Well, the ad network is a very healthy business. It helps support the investments in other areas. It provides a value. It provides the opportunity for advertisers to get access to a lot of volume because we're aggregating a lot of different supply partners. QPS and volume seems to be as important as anything in the ad ecosystem. Oftentimes, you hear things related to quality, and when you approach advertisers with things that are pristine quality, but it's on the lower end of the volume spectrum, a lot of times it gets ignored or dismissed entirely. And so volume is a big part of that. That's where ad networks play a pretty big role in the ad ecosystem to be able to provide that volume. So,
but Loren, and don't take offense to this, but you're fairly small. I mean, we just had Bill Wise on from MediaOcean, right? And they're doing 5 to 6 billion in terms of what's going through their platform. If you're in the 8 figures, that's fairly small in this space. So how do you win that battle?
So we think we win the battle by diversifying and being able to, provide value in many different areas. While it sounds like there are a lot of things that we're juggling, it is still very focused, right? We're focused on solutions for publishers in the video space, right? And so when we look at the challenges that publishers have, it's obviously monetization. And so we can come in and we can help there. And it's a lot of different individual issues related to tech. And so we come in with a few tech solutions that allow them to increase yield, to get access to more inventory that they can sell, whether it's in our marketplace or their direct sales staff going out and selling it. Access and creating more inventory is a big thing. And that's also what our studio does. And these things all start to...
How many people are in your studio, by the way?
So we've got more of like what we consider kind of a virtual studio, to where we can go in and offer video creation on a budget. So we've got about 200 contributors across the country.
These are freelancers.
These are freelancers that are mobile and can be anywhere that we need to be. Otherwise, we've got a very small team of about 3 folks that are running that.
That's great. And so when you think about video content, so a lot of people are like, should I start creating exclusive content for like Facebook Watch, or should I, keep creating exclusive content for like YouTube or things like this? I mean, what would your recommendation be to those people?
90% of the publishers that we're working with have their own studio in-house. And they're coming to us because they can't keep up with the amount of work that they have, right? They want to be able to do more videos and create more videos, which leads to more video inventory, because there is some success with their sales teams to be able to go out and sell that. So, I don't think it's a bad strategy to incorporate your own studio, your own staff, to be able to execute on that strategy. What I would caution is just getting overextended. It's very expensive to do that. And so if you're a mid-sized publisher that is going to take a big gamble to invest in a staff and a studio, you may think twice, because there are other good solutions out there, and that's where we come in and fill that gap.
All right, Loren, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's the last business book you read?
I am reading the Twitter book right now. So the Nick Bilton book about Twitter, I'm about a paragraph in. So I'm going to say that's the current one and the last one. I can't recall the other ones that I've read.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
Studying or following? Wow, that's a good question. I can't say that there is.
Okay.
Mark Cuban comes to mind. He's in the news right now, so kind of following some of his actions.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building a business?
Online tool for building a business. We look at a lot of open source tools. We like some of the lean and open source type solutions.
Name one.
We use the solutions that are I forget the group that runs these, but Jira, Bitbucket, and Sightly comes to mind. Those are all great tools. Atlassian, that's right.
Yeah, good. Okay, Bitbucket. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Wow. So probably 6 to 7.
Okay, that's pretty good. And what's your situation? Married, single? You have kiddos?
So a couple kids, divorce.
How many kids?
I got 2 beautiful little girls.
Oh, okay, good. So 2 kiddos, and how old are you?
I'm going to be 42 next month.
All right, Loren, last question. Take us back to your 20-year-old self. What do you wish you knew?
That's a great question. I wish I knew, I wish I knew what was ahead, just to be able to kind of have a vision of what was coming ahead and be able to plan a little bit better for it. So you learn things later in life that you certainly wish you knew younger. So I wish I had a little bit more vision and did a little bit more with it in my 20 years.
There you guys have it from Loren, CEO of Answer Media. He wishes he would have had a little bit more vision and really been clear about it and acted on that more or sooner, earlier on. He's now, again, building the company Answer Media. They start off as really an ad network, processing north of 8 figures in terms of volume, ad volume every single year. They're scaling other product lines, including an in-house design studio specifically for video content, which obviously is a hot space. Loren, thank you so much for taking us to the top.
Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate it.